Hello and welcome again to, I believe, what is episode 14 of A Quick Brew, David.
Big numbers.
It's in
Big numbers.
episode 14. We hope everybody's still finding it valuable, more valuable.
More valuable every week. And my journey, not just the knowledge sharing and the guests that we're taking inspiration from, is your beverage journey. I mean, what is that hanging out of your teacup this time?
So I've gone for another flavoured one. It's sort of like a raspberry and summer fruits, but it'll have all sorts of other stuff in it. I didn't really read the box.
Right.
Um, but it's an immune support one, a Twinings immune support.
Wow. Immune support.
Coming into the winter months, at 43, want to do everything I can.
Absolutely. So you had, I think, metabolism tea, didn't you, at the beginning as we kicked off? You've moved
I
on
did.
from metabolism. You're now into immunosupport.
I'm now into immunosport. I was again skirting around the coffee sort of
Yeah.
arena
Mhm.
again for a while, but I think I've sort of decided that I probably drink too many coffees.
Mm,
Well, you tell me, 14 a day.
too many.
Yeah, that's it. That's far too many, isn't
Yeah.
it? So
If the gauge is a week, then I think that's within the tolerance. But 14 a day, no. I was going to think about it, but it really didn't need any sort of thought. It was just a knee jerk.
the far too many,
Yeah.
far too many. So yeah, I think if I was to go to a doctor, or let's say I've brought myself to Dr. Bancroft, and
Mhm.
the diagnosis is far too many coffees.
Triage. Yes. Enjoy your immunosupport. Stay off the coffee.
Yeah, I'll stick to it.
Yeah. I've gone with another black coffee today.
Nice.
And a funny habit I've got into, I don't really know what's kick-started this, but when I'm in the office, I drink black coffee. They have milk, they have sugar, but for some reason, a habit has formed where I just tend to make black coffee when I'm in the office. So,
Health reasons, is it? Or
I mean, I think it's better, obviously, for you, not to be piling it. I mean, I only have one sugar, but, not to be putting the sugar, dairy, who knows? But, I mean, I enjoy it, so I'll stick with it. When I get home, I go crazy, though, and add milk and sugar. So, who knows?
especially coming into the Christmas months when it's the toffee nut lattes and
Yeah, I actually love a hazelnut latte, and if it's got a little toddy,
do you know what my actual treat of a coffee is? And this is probably going to horrify you, but McDonald's, the caramel lattes.
right? No, yes,
Iced
I mean, yes, I know, but no, I haven't tried them. Just McDonald's as a prefix before
as for
coffee.
coffee, I agree, but try their iced caramel lattes. Oh,
Really?
riddled in cream, riddled in caramel, riddled in calories, but so good.
More calories than a Big
I
Mac?
do feel it could be a one-way ticket to diabetes if you kept on drinking one of those every day.
Dr. Bancroft again. Another note. I mean, caution, caution. Anyhow, there we go.
Yes.
It wasn't meant to be a beverage critique episode, but it's sort of gone that way so far. I wanted to talk today, James, about and probably expand on something that I posted on LinkedIn a little while ago. As our listeners will know, I work as a recruitment professional and place a lot of early stage career IT professionals and sales professionals, actually. So people that might be in their first job, might be in their second job, certainly early career, post grads maybe. And something that's popped up quite a lot recently, and I really put out to my network, was looking for thoughts on how many people are actively looking now for fully remote jobs when they're first moving into employment. So this isn't a discussion about is hybrid good or bad. This isn't a discussion about, should we be working remotely? It's very specifically, and I think this was misunderstood slightly in the post, but very specifically at the beginning of your career, is it wise to remove yourself from physical people in an office and target remote only jobs?
Well, I don't. In my opinion, no, I don't think so. And it's that's where you develop. That's where you learn. You learn from other people. It's would you learn as much at school if you weren't around others? Would you learn as much about values if you weren't around others at school? Would you learn much about connection if you were at school? If all teaching was to go digitized and all kids were sat in front of a laptop, would they have a better opportunity to learn? No, I'm not. I mean, obviously, we've come across sort of like the hybrid solution. I mean, at Wellity, we are pretty much fully remote, and I'll be honest, it's difficult at times. As you, like we said, I'm a social butterfly, and I'm a person that feeds off the energy of others. So it can be really, really difficult at times.
Mm.
However, I'm a self-driven person, so that's work ethic doesn't come into the question there. But
But
it's
you're also mature in work. You've been around the
yeah,
block a few times. You know
that I
what you
have.
should be doing day to day,
Yeah,
and you'd like to think that you have, a high level of accountability with that experience. But I'm confident that when you were learning, when you were finding your way en route to becoming the sales extraordinaire that you
yeah,
are now, you will have picked up invaluable tips, tricks,
massively
attitudes,
invaluable.
cultures from people around you, your sales leaders, your colleagues, the people that are smashing it when you first turn up and you don't know what day of the week it is. I just think that if you aren't around them physically, as much as you can replicate things virtually, there will be opportunities missed for learning, development, progression, if you're not actually around people in the early stages of your career.
But I 1,000,000,000% agree. And it's
Mm.
also I did a apt middle name for this section of the podcast, and I do believe in connection. It's generally with those first sort of line workers as well. You find they're the ones that really want well-being policies in place
Mhm.
within organisations. And
Yeah,
I did a post not so long ago on my A to Z of leadership series, and my B was surrounding burnout. If you take that into consideration and the factors that can contribute towards burnout and working in a remote environment, a fully remote environment,
yeah.
for those that don't know, it was from Maslach Leiter, Christina Maslach and Michael Leiter in like the late '90s. They developed the research and the findings of what can contribute towards burnout, and it's areas of work life model, which sort of like it noticed that there are 6 signs of a person in their role that could really lead and contribute towards burnout, which was
14 coffees a day?
14 coffees a day was certainly one of them. Workload control, reward, community, fairness, and values. If you take those 6 into consideration, workload, if you're working from home, there isn't
Mm.
an off switch, is there?
No.
You will be checking those emails at night.
Yeah,
You're working from home alone.
yeah,
Excuse me. It's so much easier to work sick from home because you basically just take your laptop into bed. So I feel that working from home, you feel like you're constantly on.
yeah.
Um, when you take into consideration control, I don't know if they are working from home, they may feel more in control of the role, but reward,
Mm.
do they feel rewarded by getting a message on Slack or a message on Teams saying,
Or thumbs
"Well
up.
done," thumbs up? Or
Yeah.
do they feel rewarded with having that discussion by the water cooler, where the leaders pulled them aside and said, "I just want you to know that you're doing amazingly well at the minute. We really appreciate the work that you're putting in,
Even a
celebrating
little
wins
humble
and stuff."
brag. Even a little
Yeah,
humble
even a
brag.
little humble brag in the workplace. So do they actually feel rewarded? I mean, I'd I like to reference sort of like sales and work to sort of like relationships and things. If you're in a relationship, do you feel more rewarded with your partner if they get a text message saying "I love you," or do you feel more rewarded with a hug and a kiss? Which is the one that makes you feel better? Is it that connection with that person, or is it a text message and words of affirmation?
Good analogy, James, but that would cross an HR line. I just want to flag that.
It's yes, yeah. I'm not promoting going and kissing people in the workplace. That's I'm just referencing it to similarities between relationships
Good analogy.
and connection.
We're on track.
But when we're talking about community, you don't feel connected at home. You're not in a community. You can't really feel part of the team, and you massively feel isolated. I feel isolated working from
Yeah.
home.
Mm.
So then, fairness. If you're in a role and in the organisation from day to day,
Yeah.
against somebody that's at home remote working and completely remote working, I guarantee you the person that's in day to day within the organization has more opportunity for progression, gets more reward, gets noticed more than the
Hmm.
person that is working from home. So in essence, you're setting up for your own failure, for fairness, in not wanting to go into the organisation. Well, if you can imagine if like Arnie Slot basically said, right, okay, we've got training this week, boys, and then Salah was like, actually, I'm going to train in my garden. He's not going to be able to see what he can do from the garden, and he's less
Hmm.
likely to get put on the team sheet that weekend.
Fair.
So, and then you're talking about values. I mean, values, I suppose, doesn't really come into it or affect it whether you're working remotely or whether you're working um, from the office, but you can reinforce the message of your values a lot
Hmm.
more often within your building. I imagine you'd have like decorative pieces around the wall talking about your 5 pillars or whichever your organization's values are.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, you basically you're sitting yourself in a position which is making you more susceptible to burnout.
Mm. And I think that that's true for everyone. And yeah, people have for a long time made remote and hybrid work successfully. And again, my point I just want to reinforce is not can it work? It's that should it work, or should it even be an option for people who are just finding their first steps? And when you actually bolt on burnout as an option, it kind of doubles down on why maybe it's not such a good idea at that early formative stage of a career.
Well, no, I mean it's if you're talking about formative stages of careers and then formative stages of human beings, you
Yes.
know, what if you wouldn't just have a baby and leave it on its own and expect it to feed itself? Do you know, it's you're going on a completely different journey, and it is a journey to develop you as a professional, not just
Yes.
develop you as a human. You know, developing you as a human, and when you're in your early years, is about
Mm.
that attention from your parents. It's about that care. It's about that looking after them every step of the way and being with them as much as you possibly can. And I
Yeah.
completely think the same applies to if you're coming into your professional career. You want
Yeah.
somebody to there to guide you. You want somebody next to you be able to hold your hand and be able to guide you through the processes and tell you about
Yeah.
best practices, tell you about failures, tell you about things that are successful. And
Mm.
you can't do that remotely.
It can be done remotely, but it's just never
I
as
don't think. Well,
natural.
sorry.
It's never
Yes,
as
it can
natural.
be done remotely, but it will be nowhere near as effective.
Totally. And it's never on the spot or ad hoc. You know,
No,
if you're engaging via Slack, then you're already deciding whether or not you want to share things. Obviously, if you're face to face, then it's warts and all, isn't it? You see good and bad, but all of that will contribute to ad hoc and on the spot learning and training, which will support growth. So, again, if I was at the beginning of my career at this point, I know it's probably hard to believe I'm not, but for this example, if I'm not at the beginning of my career, then yeah, I want to be in that office. I want to be around people, and I want to be learning from them, and building opportunities because I'm around them. Something else you said there a few minutes ago, which bothers me as well, is being off sick. Are you still going to be working? I mean, you're off sick or you're not. If you're off sick, you're not working. Yeah, it
yeah,
shouldn't be a case of, oh, now we have this unbelievable, technology that actually you're too ill to come into the
anybody that's
office,
been sick can work.
but you
Yeah.
should still be working. I mean, if I'm off sick, then yeah, frankly, I can't work. It's as simple as that. And for me, that is always the measure. If I actually can't work, then I shouldn't be working, and I should be off sick. And again, that concerns me. I've heard that a few times actually
If you're a
recently.
leader and you're saying this, please feel free to contact me. I'll put all of my details because we need to give you some leadership training.
There you go. Absolutely agree. 100% agree. That's not healthy. It's not good, is it?
Well, it's not healthy, and it's the message that you put out as well. You know, it's like culture. Yes, you can have as much training on in creating a safe and comfortable workplace culture, but
Hmm.
it's not about the grand gestures and the one-off sessions. It's about the everyday work that your line managers are putting in. You know, so I mean, especially sort of like that first line management, they're the ones that are on the ground talking to the teams every day, and you need them to support that culture.
Yeah.
If they're but then again, does that stem from the top? And again, this is why we do so much training within leadership teams. You know, if their manager is saying to
Hmm.
them, "Oh, I know you're off sick, but you've got a laptop, haven't you?" That's the first thing
Yeah.
that they're going to say to their team members as well. If you're off sick, you're off sick.
Yeah.
Take time to
Exactly.
rest, recover, recuperate, and come back fresher. It's like the conversation we were having on not so long back about making sure you switch off on holiday. You know,
Yeah.
the
Exactly
same
that.
applies. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't have that rest and that break, you're not going to come back to the truer form that you could be if
Yes.
you were working throughout.
Well, there's a clue in the title. It's annual leave.
Leave.
Yeah, so don't be logging on because
And
you're
there's
on
also a clue
leave.
in the title. I'm sick.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not very ambiguous, is it? I mean, it's
No.
pretty it's pretty definite.
Well, so what are you going to do? Start taking your laptop to the dentist? And so, oh, I know you've got a dentist appointment. You've got a laptop, haven't you? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll just have that meeting with Karen. If you're sick, you're sick. Go on. Don't mess about here.
Thanks for that. I'm more happy being a doctor than a dentist, as it turns out. Something else, as we're right on top of Christmas at this point, um, there's such a, I mean, lots of people have had their Christmas parties already. And again, it strikes me as weird when you have a fully remote workforce that come together once a year for an almighty Christmas party. They don't even know each other properly. It's kind of
Well, no,
weird, isn't it?
other than professional communication that's in Slack, it's like
Yep.
I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but I love banter in the
Hmm.
workplace. You
That's
obviously have to be
safe.
very careful with the banter that obviously you're having. Um, but if you don't have that connection and that communication, I feel it's like, do you remember the study that came out? Who was it by? I'm going to have to find the details of it, and maybe we start discussing this on a separate podcast. But it basically studied like a few men with their relationship with their best friends, and they found out the ones that were the most resilient and the happiest were the ones that basically just completely took the mick out of each other all the time,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
had that playful banter where they were offensive to each other. They did make
Hmm.
take the Michael completely.
Hmm.
So and it can lead to happiness. That banter within the workplace, laughter to me is one of the best forms of medicines. If I'm feeling really stressed
Definitely.
within the workplace, if I'm feeling sort of like a bit overloaded and it's too much, I'll do like these little resets where I'll basically go outside and I'll watch a clip of The Office or something, or some bloopers from The Office, and I'll I'll wet myself with laughter and then go back in and boom, reset and I'm done.
Yeah.
Having that banter and that laugh and that connection with the people that you are working with in the office
Hmm.
really, really contributes to a healthy culture as well.
Yeah. No, I like that. And it circles back to, and you alluded to it briefly, your alias today, which is James Connection Sharples. It's all about connections, isn't it?
It's all about connections and it's all about human connections and human interactions. We were never meant to tackle this world alone. We were meant to do it as a tribe. That's inherently bred into us. So yeah, being alone in a digital age, working from a bedroom or a home office every day, to me, isn't living.
No, no, I agree. Again, it's not to suggest remote hybrid can't work. It can and it does. But just to get back to the point, for these early stage first jobbers, second jobbers, people that are really trying to find their way, understand their direction, you know, get find their feet. I just think, and I would advocate for, target jobs that are in the office.
Yeah,
Please, stop thinking that remote is the best option. I understand it's going to save money on commutes. It's going to save time on commutes and the stress that goes with commuting. I get all of that, but
but what's it gonna cost in emotional toll? What's it gonna cost in basically in giving you more opportunity to head towards burnout? What's it going to cost in not developing you as a person? So
yeah,
weigh up the cost of that commute against the person that is in the office every day and showing their worth there and in front of people that might get promoted before you do. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
you when you think of business, you also think of initial costs against that might be a little bit of pain now, and that might cost us this much, but that is eventually gonna lead to this in 10 years' time. Do you get
yes,
what I mean? I mean, that's what
yes,
marketing's about.
yeah,
Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So, yes, it might save you some money on fuel. Yes, it might be more convenient for you, but the toll that could take 10 years down the line against the people that have been in that office environment and that hustle and bustle could be
mm.
catastrophic.
Shall we make hustle and bustle our word of the day? Quite
Hustle
like
and
that.
bustle. I like that. Word of the day. It's been a very deep session, this,
Has
Steve.
been quite deep, and actually, it was only meant to be a little kick-off thought before we moved on, but we've managed to pretty much consume the entire episode talking about this. But I think it is something that you could talk a lot about, and actually, there's strong opinions on remote and hybrid, and whether it's good or bad, and you're going to have strong arguments for both sides.
All those of favour going into the office, say aye. Aye.
Absolutely. James, this has been a good chat. One more episode before Christmas. We'll release on 24th. Christmas special.
Christmas special. I think we have got a very special guest for that.
Okay, we'll keep it under
Um,
wraps. We'll keep it under wraps, shall we? Or
I mean, I can go out and say, keep an eye on the episode for the Christmas special, which will be released on the 24th of December, with
yes,
a published author, academic, and scholar, and the
nice.
current Global Inspirational Woman of the Year.
It's not me. Sorry, I
It's-
thought it's me. I thought it's me. Sorry.
We'll be inviting Sadie Restrick onto the show.
Hey, there you go. Unwrapped, unveiled. Fantastic.
Unveiled.
Really, really look forward to that, actually. So, Christmas special 24th. We'll then squeeze one more episode in, I think on New Year's Eve, is it?
Yeah,
Uh,
New Year's
what
Eve, I believe. Yeah, is the Wednesday after.
probably shouldn't be a live episode. What do you think?
Probably not. I don't think I
Probably.
can be trusted for a live episode, especially on New Year's Eve.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't have to shut it down. But no, really good. Excellent chat. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, as always, guys, for watching and listening. Cheers.
Cheers.
And on to the next one.
On to the next.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.